Welcome back to week 6 of our MLB and assorted sports coverage. On this episode, we're going to cover obviously the matchups that the Phillies had and some of the other NL East teams. We're going to cover some basketball. Playoffs are continuing on. We also had the draft lottery, and the NFL schedule was released. So we're going to cover some of the NFL highlights of the last week, as well as what our projections are of the season, wins and losses. For today's episode, I will be enjoying Dogfish Head Festina Peach, 4.5% alcohol. Pretty tasty. Cam, what are you drinking?
I've got the 30-minute IPA from Dogfish. It's one of my favorites recently. Not too heavy. It's only 4%. Trying to watch that summer figure, right?
There you go. Summer bods, baby.
Pulls right up.
So, and me and Cameron, we went on a search earlier today to try to help Brock out. We looking for the 312 that Kevin suggested. Unfortunately, the liquor store we stopped at didn't have any.
Yeah.
So said they had it in stock. We couldn't find it. So we got Brock Mississippian beer, something I think he would enjoy. Yardbird, it's a lager. So
yeah. Raise a stone's throw away from where we're recording.
Yeah, we can actually probably walk there.
4.7%.
Yeah, but we all really enjoy that one. So I think I suggested it last week on the pod.
Yep.
If you didn't try it, so we at least got you something different Miller Lite this time.
I'll say I'm drinking different beer, people.
There you go. So any more suggestions, even for me and Cam? I enjoy just about anything. So
I don't
more away.
dark beer, so
no dark.
I'm a big IPA guy, not big into the stouts.
I like stouts, especially in the wintertime. Stouts and porters, I do enjoy those. I like sours. I had a couple Dewey Beer Company Secret Machines last night. Those are very tasty as well. So send us some suggestions. We'll hopefully find some new beers that we like. All right, let's get into it. Phillies, where we left off, they were about to start a series with the Guardians. So Nola gets to start game 1. Unfortunately, he goes up against Williams. No run support again.
Yep. So 6-0 loss. Nola went 5, 4 earns. He gave up homers to Manzardo and Martinez.
He actually pitched really well early in the game, and then fourth, fifth inning. Rav fourth.
We were recording during that game last week, and I don't know if you guys saw Brock and I's eye roll in the middle of that. That was because we were just watching Nola give up home runs in the fourth and fifth inning again, like we are coming to expect at this point anymore, right?
Right.
Again, Brian mentioned the run sport. There's nothing there for Nola. It's so frustrating. It's got to be frustrating for him.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's like he's pressing too. It's like, you get some runs and it's like, all right, well, now I feel like I have to make every pitch because I'm getting nothing on the other end.
That guy scored for me. I was like, I could lose on this one pitch here.
Yeah, so obviously they lose game 1. You don't want to do that. The Guardians are a good team. They're a good team. They're competing for their division. So you definitely want to try to get some wins there. They bounce back. Suarez game 2, 7-1 win over BB.
Yeah, so that game, Harper hit a home run. I think they scored 6 in the 8th inning, so there wasn't much going on offensively until that 8th inning.
Mm-hmm.
Ranger feeling, great to see him back to form.
Yeah, especially after his first start.
He was doing really well in the first 3 innings, and then just got tagged in the 4th there. But then he bounced back. So love to see that, and hopefully. Now us knowing that Nola's on the IL, right? We're going to have to keep him in, and hopefully we can keep Taiwan out.
But they do have him back in the rotation.
Yeah, I know. That's a guaranteed loss. Yeah. Over and
unless he returns to his Y1 form, then we'll be
maybe it's going to be scheduled against the Rockies. So.
Yeah, there you go. Ranger pitched well. So it's good to see, and us to bounce back, get a nice 7-1 win.
Yeah.
And then Wheeler closes the series out, and Wheeler does what Wheeler dodoes.
Sunday Night Baseball, 7 innings, 8 Ks. Schwarber hits 2 home runs that game.
Yeah.
That was the whole offense.
Schwarber pretty much, the whole offense there with the 2 home runs. So good series W against Cleveland. Like Brian kind of mentioned, they're a competitive team. Their division's actually getting a little bit better. I think the Twins have won 12 straight.
12 or 13, 13 in a row.
The Tigers are running away with it, right? They were one of the best teams in baseball.
They're the first team to 30 wins. The Tigers were.
Yeah, they're 31-16 right now.
Yeah,
so they're
we can check back our projections. I don't think any of us had that.
I did not have the Tigers. I had the Guardians.
I have the Guardians also.
Yep.
So But yeah, we'll see. But again, good series W. And
Yeah,
Brock loves
absolutely.
to see those tweets like series W. But
Yeah,
Series
it's like yes, it's a series, but I feel like that's all they're like. As long as we win the series, it's like doesn't matter what happens at third game.
Yeah.
Like it kind of does sometimes though. Like
Yeah,
please,
exactly. We'll be counting those losses,
Yeah.
towards the end of the year.
Right.
Oh, we missed.
And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, another series is done. I'm like,
Yep.
third game could have been.
We brought it up last week.
Yeah, I'm like,
So,
yeah, it's like,
yeah, as you mentioned, Bryce, hit a home run game 2. Still struggling a little bit, especially on the power.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe he tried to adopt a Nick Sirianni thing.
Oh,
So he
yeah.
shaved his head before the Cards series.
yes,
so
he did.
shocked
the hell out of me for sure.
I just love seeing that tan line,
Yeah.
Fresh cut tan line.
Yeah. Basically what we would look like without our heads up and shaved. So
It's like flowing so nicely.
the flow was great.
He still rocks the headband, which
which
doesn't
doesn't make any sense now. Yeah,
they're sweatbands, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, they're sponsored. So
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Gotta keep getting that money.
no, he shaved his head for the Card series and open it up against the Cards. He has Sanchez against Liberatore. Liberatore tends to pitch well against us.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's been pitching well this whole season.
Yeah, but focused on us, it
Yeah.
seems like he just
He
always pitches well against us.
The Cardinals, that's their 9th win in a row. So we lost that one 2-3. Sanchez 6 innings, 2 earned, 8 Ks. The Phillies had 9 hits. The Cardinals had 5 hits. But the Phillies were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. So
Yeah. So
that's kind of been a hot topic on the offense this whole season. Continue the struggles at home. And we probably should have won if you're only getting up 2 earned out of your starting pitcher, right? Like you want to be able to have the offense. The Phillies have the lineup that should be able to produce at least 4 runs a game.
Yeah,
they did it on Monday, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and then my typical fantasy fashion, I leave Sanchez on the bench. So
God, I wish I played you.
Sanchez pitches well. It's like, yep, he's on my bench.
Hey,
so
take one for the team.
Yeah, exactly. Missing out on 8 Ks. I'm pretty sure I lost that category that week. So I'm pretty sure that was our buddy Ethan. So you're welcome, Ethan. Game 2 was actually postponed. So it was postponed to Wednesday, and part of the podcast was in attendance.
Hey, I was there.
So, yeah. Well, how about you cover this one?
Game
1.
Game one was good.
Luzardo,
Luzardo. I got to see Luzardo pitch. So I was excited. I was like, I know he's gonna, and he pitched exactly like I expected. Just went right straight through him. Romano got the save, so I was like,
it was a good save too.
It was a good save. Like he
9 pitches or something ridiculous.
He just went right through the 3 batters, and I was just like, nice, that's great. And then game 2, I had to watch Nola. And they gave him 5 runs first inning. So I was like, hey, man, they're giving you some run support. Like, what can you do with that?
Run support.
Oh, I'm going to give up 9 runs. I'm like, lovely. That's just fantastic. So
it's career high.
He definitely heard me, I think, from my seats because my seats were about 3 rows behind the dugout. So I let him hear it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're pissing off.
I think I upset some people, but, who cares? They've never been to a game.
It was their first game, man.
Yeah,
Come on. So this is what you got to set the tone.
They've never heard a curse word in their life, apparently.
So you're letting Bohm and I
was trying to get Bohm to be to switch places with Arenado because Arenado DH. So I was like, he could just walk in, take your jersey, and boom, there you go, same number, everything. Just I said that would work out great for me, but I was like, I guess the people around me didn't agree with me. So
you don't need that contract. We talked about that earlier in the year. It's like I don't have any interest in.
But no, we were talking about it when we played the Cardinals the first time. We were like, bring Arenado.
Just keep him here.
Just keep him with us.
And,
it's like,
and we were like, we'll take Haney.
Which
Helsley.
Helsley.
Haney pitched one of the games. But Helsley. So I mean, I don't want.
Bohm.
And Bohm's actually.
Yeah, Bohm homered though. So people were like,
he's been doing.
He's doing fine. It's just like
we just need you to continue to hate on him.
I'm right there, so I was like, I can say it. Like he can hear me. Like I was like. And so I just had to get plus it was raining and all that.
The weather wasn't even great either. Like we had like a bad stretch of weather here the past couple of days.
Yeah.
So Tuesday it rained all day. Wednesday it rained throughout the morning.
It rained all the way until almost until the hour before. Like we were walking in and it was
game
finally,
1, right?
Game 1, and it was finally just like it was done. But then it kind of just sprinkled the whole rest of the day to let you know that it was still raining. And I was like, thanks. And my seats were so low that I'm got no coverage, so I'm just drenched on the whole.
So that's why you were angry.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, maybe
Little-
alcohol was a
humble
little.
brag
You-
about
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Threw it out there.
Yeah.
Diamond club.
Brock gets a little moist and it's like he's he gets
Just fall on wet.
Yeah. No, definitely good that we took one game at least.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
back
it's
to
just
you know, you
shitty that
talk
we-
about the
we get
city.
5 runs.
You talk about the series wins, like that's
Yeah.
a series loss.
Yeah.
So you know,
And we know the Cardinals are coming, like you said, 9. They were coming in hot. They are a good team, so it's not like it just sucks because, like I said, we just said how Nola doesn't get run support. He gets
get
it,
some
and
first
then he
inning,
gets smacked around,
Yep.
and it's just like,
Didn't Taiwan pitch that game too?
yeah.
And he gave up some
That's
runs
the other thing. I
also.
think Rob kept Nola in too long because I was sitting there just like because I could see the bullpen.
Well, you should have paid a little bit more and been on the Phillies
on
side.
the Philly side,
Yeah,
right?
and then
Yeah.
Rob might have been able to hit.
Because I was like, the whole time I'm looking, like they have bases loaded. I'm just like, there's nobody warming up with the bullpen, and you put Taiwan in there for this reason. Like if it's a loss, just throw him out there for innings eat up.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, we'll just keep Nola in there throwing up his curveball and single out there.
So Taiwan went 3 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned.
Yeah,
So I mean, better than Nola, right? He gave
and
3
not
and
to
2/3
mention
and 9 earned. So.
the stupid misplays by Marsh in center field both times, and that he slid and was so late on getting to that ball, and then the other one he completely whiffed it.
Yeah,
there Arenado hit it to center field, and Marsh was just like, "Whoops! I just don't. My glove's right there." But I'm like, "You know how to catch now?" I'm like, Rojas would have got to these balls just on his play, just his breaks to the ball. He
he is so smooth in center field, especially defensively. Like he reads the ball really well off the bat, and he makes plays look easy. Like I saw a play the other day where it's like the ball was in the gap, and he just completely closed on it like immediately, and I'm like, oh wow, like there's no shot for any like 1 extra bases, but 2, it's like even the ball to get down. So you definitely like. That was one of the things we talked about. It's like if he can get his bat going, and he has for the most part. I think he's been down a little bit as of late, but I don't need him to bat 300. It's like just
I don't think he's got many at bats though since Marsh has come back.
Yeah, don't be an automatic out at this point. And
so turn the lineup over.
Yep, exactly. So as mentioned, we lose 2 or 3 to the Cards, so obviously not what you want to do. But we have the Pirates come in over the weekend.
Yeah, luckily love that.
Game 1. They retired. Very sad to see this go, but they retired the POOP scoreboard. So I thought this was very well done.
Shout out to NBC Sports on the memorial.
Yeah, no, it was all
good teams.
So for those that don't know, they updated the score bug to where we no longer have the Phillies P in the first inning 0-0, and then the Pirates P, which would make out the POOP. So they retired that.
It's a nice tribute that they put on.
It was very good, very well done.
I think Kruk even had like a little a little thing for it. I was like, they should sell those.
They probably do.
Yeah, I was like, that's some nice merch there. Like,
you went to the game too early.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, like.
And prior to the series, Nola goes on the IL. So evidently he had an ankle injury. I think they said that he sustained it during the Guardians series.
Yeah.
Which may have led into, I don't know if it's, he can't push off. He's not getting enough on his pitches.
Plus, it's wet too. So, I mean, maybe that factored in a little bit.
I think he needed a break anyway. So
I think that's kind of what it's more just like,
it's an ankle injury.
Yeah.
Just throw him on the IL for 2 weeks.
Yep. So they bring up McAble. We'll get into that game later at the, it's their game of the series. But game 1, Suarez against Haney.
There was like a 2-hour rain delay.
Yeah, it started at about 8:30.
Ranger 7 innings, 3 earned, 6 Ks. So it's quality start for Ranger. Like it's again, like how we just said, like
kind of tacked some runs on towards the end of the game. Kind of blew it out.
Yeah, we were down 3-1. He gave up a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
And then the Pittsburgh bullpen, like we always shit on our bullpen. Holy crap!
Oh yeah, they were
very nice. So I have like kind of the series of events, right? So Rojas walked, Turner singled, Harper walked, Schwarber walked, Cassidy hit by pitch, JT walked, boom, sack fly. We're now up 5-3.
Yeah.
So they're
with one hit,
guys,
hit,
just wild to see. So their pitchers were some Holderman and Barucki.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys absolutely not on the trade list. So leave them in Pittsburgh. They just completely gave
couldn't throw strikes. Yeah.
And then later on, Turner tripled in, Rojas, Harper singled, then Cassie RBI ground out to make it.
That was impressive to see. It's like when you have Rojas at first and you have Turner behind him and he hits his triple and those guys just rolling around the bases. It's just very, very fun to watch.
Yep. So good win. I mean, it wasn't looking great for the offense until Pittsburgh decided to
the bullpen. Yeah, exactly. So you're definitely fortunate for the fact that taking a stroll around the bases, as you would say.
Yeah,
that's how their season's going. I mean, they're the third worst team in majors right now.
Yeah, they're not doing too great. So, I mean, we kind of all expected that right out of Pittsburgh.
No
one really had them leading their division. They're probably even third or higher, right?
Right.
They got a lot of good young arms. Jarrett Jones, he's out for the year, I believe, right?
I don't think I think he's out for a good portion of it. But they have Mitch Keller, also the other guy, and then they obviously have Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
So they're still in the rebuilding phase.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's good to see those W's out of them, right?
We have these are the games you have to win. Yeah. So game 2, Wheeler against Melidzinski.
Yeah, there you go.
It's probably butchered that.
Yeah,
I'm sure our one Pittsburgh Pirate fan will tell me. will let me know how bad that was.
Yeah. 5-2 win. Wheeler 6 innings, 6 Ks. The Phillies jumped up, had 5 runs in the 4th. They didn't score anymore after that. Schwarber double, Stott home run. Stott had a 2-run single, and then Harper double to get the runs in. Again, you want to see more.
It was good at a stop. Good at a stop.
Like
3 RBIs.
For sure. So
it's good to see.
Nice easy win, 5-2.
So, and then today's game, Abel against Skeens, which we figured Skeens was gonna. Right? We figured Skeens was gonna be dealing. We did not expect this out of Abel. Abel had really good game.
Yeah, no, Abel went 6 innings, 9 Ks, no walks. He had 84 pitches in the 6 innings, 62 were strikes. Yeah, so that's very impressive for a kid making his first debut.
Yeah, he touched 98, 96,
98, 99, his first 2 pitches of the game. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know he had that gas in him. So, I mean, if he can kind of, make a name for himself while Nola's on the IL, we can see a little bit more out of him, maybe that's something to look forward to in the future.
Yeah.
Or possibly a piece that we can move for some bullpen on.
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly.
We get Mason Miller. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, why not just throw him into the bullpen? Like, I would rather just.
That too.
You see if he has 98 mile an hour, it's like. And then, I mean, news that we found out today, too, that kind of goes along with the bullpen. Alvarado got busted for PEDs.
Yeah.
So
trying to lose weight and whatever he was taking was not working.
Yeah.
So.
He wasn't the skinniest fella.
He's a big fella. Yeah.
Whatever he was taking, not really working for him. But.
Yeah, so he gets popped with PEDs. They suspended him for 80 games. He's not allowed to pitch in the playoffs.
If we make it.
If we make it, yeah. But I mean, at this point, that's a big loss because I mean, I think he had 7 saves this year in 20 games with I think it was like a 2.7 ERA. So he was pitching well. And he's always been one of those guys that we relied on.
And we know he could be wild. So like, obviously there's some people that are probably like, at least he's not closing because, he could sit there and throw 30 pitches in 1 inning, but he obviously can at times though get a lot of people out with the way his movement is at 100.
Right. Yeah, so, exactly.
You definitely still need that arm as an option, even if you're not making him the closer. So now that you've lost him for 80 games in the playoffs, you might as well say that's the rest of the year.
Right. Exactly.
Pretty much,
Yeah, so it's just because if you make the playoffs, you're just like, well, thanks for.
It'll put him back to like August, September.
Yeah, it's like thanks for the 30 games or 20 games you played there, but see you later because we can't use you now. Like my thing with that stuff is even if it's they never said what it was, but it's like again, it's like if you're taking something, go to the team and go, hey, can I take this or am I going to get flagged? Don't just take it and be like.
I think that's the same thing that happened to Profar.
Right,
I think he was taking something and just didn't realize that
didn't realize
it was a banned substance. So. At those points, like when you're taking things to, help your body, just double check and make sure that.
And I don't think it was I think Ozempic is more of like diabetics. This was like a testosterone.
That's just what people said. I don't think that's exactly what it was, but they were just throwing out like he said it was a weight loss thing he was taking.
So they probably just went right to the.
But it is like it was a testosterone drug. He filled the test on. So
So no, it's a big loss. We'll see what that does for trade deadline, or maybe like we mentioned, Taiwan right now has been, I wouldn't say great in the bullpen. He had one really good outing, he had a mediocre outing. So it's one of those things where do they take Abel, put him into the bullpen, or do they put Ranger in the bullpen? I think we talked about that before. It's like I don't think that's in his best interest, just due to his contract.
It's not in his interest, but it's
right.
probably
best for the club, right? Yeah. So
but
let's
again,
see what ends up happening.
He's pitching well, so I
mean, both of them are. Yeah, right? So it's like you got Suarez that's been pitching well. He was rough his first game.
Yeah.
Abel came up, and I'm not saying that he's the next ace of the team. He pitched against the Pirates, so let's be a little realistic here.
Mm-hmm. And we hope he's not another Tyler Phillips. Because remember what Tyler did when he started last year? He he pitched a great game, shut him out, and everybody's like, "Well, Tyler Phillips is gonna be good." And then now he's not even on the he's on the minor league roster now. He didn't make the team for the year.
I think they traded him for Alvarado.
Oh shit, that's right. Sorry, he got traded to Miami. My bad. Yeah, yes, there you go. I meant when I said not on the team. Yeah, I meant
So no, I mean we'll see what ends up happening. But we definitely want to see some continued success out of Abel. But definitely nice to see some talent come up and produce.
I mean, hey, he's fallen right into Nola's slot, right? And no run support.
Yeah, kind of exactly. I mean, we'll give the bats a benefit of a doubt. I mean, they were going up against Skins,
I was just like, this could be a low scoring. Yeah, I was like, this could be
game 9 case.
Yep. Yeah. So this could be a low scoring game. I was like, they gotta do something. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, they didn't have a hit until Cassidy singled, then Kepler singled, moving Cassidy to third. Brandon Marsh ground out to the infield, and then Cassidy scored on. That's
the one run. Yeah, that's the game recap.
Yeah.
Also, what was it?
The game was favorite games, right, Brian? One of the 1-0 barn burners.
Yeah. 2 hours, 1 hour 59 minutes. You get in there. Hey, let's get this bad boy over with, and
we got over quick.
Beat traffic.
Yeah.
So over the week, Phillies went 6-3. So that's you want to do that. You want to make sure that you're staying towards the top of the division and beating these teams like the Pirates and taking what you can from playoff contending teams like the Guardians and Cardinals is
Well, we're 1 game out of the Mets right now. So this may be one of the only times I say it, but go Yankees.
Yeah. So right now the Mets.
Oh, right, because it's the rivalry week or whatever they call it. I don't.
It doesn't make any sense. Like Mets and Yankees, okay.
Yeah,
they're in the same. Same.
But I would rather see Red Sox versus Yankees a good
right. If we're doing rivalry week, it's like, and then like us and the Braves or us and the Mets. Like I think honestly, our rival would be the Mets.
They just said, "Oh, you guys play in the same city,
or same state,
state. Just go ahead and play state. But if you just go ahead and play each other, like we'll call it something." I'm like, you guys aren't making. You just made that up to try to sell.
So speaking of the Mets currently over this last week are 5-3 with the game tonight against the Yankees. They won 2 of 3 against the Cubs, won 2 of 3 against the Pirates, and currently they're 1-1 against the Yankees. Braves went 6-4 this week, so kept up with the Mets and the Phils.
Yeah,
they lost 2 of 3 of the Pirates, which is a little surprising. But they bounced back. They went 3 of 4 against the Nationals, and then they won 2 of 3 against the Red Sox. So Braves are, I think they're still right around 500.
They're 1 game over 500.
1 game now. Yep.
So it's just a matter of time before, I think they start hitting the ground running.
And I think Acuna's homered twice down in the minors on his return. He's been playing.
Have you heard a day that they're
still talking about for
I think they're working on his legs.
Yeah, so probably July or maybe late June. Yeah.
I was speaking with a Braves fan earlier today, and he was telling me that they want to make sure that he can play in the outfield because they don't want to remove Ozuna from the DH. Because he's one of the better hitters right now. I think Matt Olson's actually kind of turned around.
Yeah, he is.
Last year, he wasn't great last year. So
I like Matt Olson.
Yeah, he's a good player. Just I believe we talked about that too. It's like they lose Freeman and they take a guy and they put him in. And it's like they lose no production there at all. Probably gained more production. But Olson's been a stud for them. Down year last year, but still, I mean, if you looked at his numbers, it probably wouldn't be surprising. But if you looked at his numbers and you compared it to other first basemen in the league, you're probably like, oh wow, you had a down year, but it's still better than what you have out of your first baseman. So,
and crazy thing about it, I was looking at the stat leaders today. Freddie Freeman's still batting like 370. It's insane. He's had some injuries, so he hasn't as many as bats as all the rest of the league. But the guy is still insane.
Yeah,
and they just let him walk. Bring in Matt Olson. Obviously, it was a great move for the Braves at that point. But shout out to Freddie Freeman, man. That dude's still crashing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yep. So I'm glad we don't have to see him as much as we did when he was a Brave. But he's always played it well against the Phillies.
He's one of those players that you don't hate though. You're just
no, you respect. Definitely some respect
you're just
there.
like, hey, he's gonna do. This is what he does, game in, game out. So can't really.
Yep. The Marlins went 4-5. Nationals went 4-6. So kind of what we figured they would be doing. As long as they're beating up on the teams that are in our division for us, that's what we're looking for. So yeah. Speaking of the Pirates, who played the Pirates, they fired their manager Derek Shelton this week. Bud Black also got fired for the Rockies. So kind of seeing a trend here of like teams that are just not performing.
Yeah.
And then one that just came in, I guess yesterday, Brandon Hyde for the Orioles got let go.
I mean,
15-29 is
but like the Rockies have what, 8 wins?
Yeah.
8-37.
Yeah.
It ain't the manager's fault at this point.
No, it's
like it's the whole organization.
Bud Black though, he's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I even said on the, I did have some random, like we had some random people comment on there talking about like, because I said they were like, well, the ownership gave him nothing. I was like, yeah, but a new face is at least a start.
Well, that's the thing. The new
he's
message.
An older guy.
And,
I mean, he's been in the league for a long ass time.
I think that's kind of what. Like I was talking to an Orioles fan earlier in the week, and he was mentioning, they're trying to take from what the Phillies did with Girardi a couple years ago, and maybe fire Brandon Hyde now and get a new face, a new message, and maybe these kids will kind of take that and run with it, and go on a run like we did with Thompson. So we'll see. I mean, I've always rooted for Orioles just being the other local team, and they have a lot of young talent. I don't think they did themselves any favors. They didn't really do
much assault, but they have an uber talent. Yeah, but pitching, they let Corbin Burns walk, which I thought when that new ownership came in and they made that trade for Burns, it was like, oh, hold on, they might actually like
go out, and then go out and pay the guy,
and then they just let him go, and then their all season they signed Tyler O'Neill, and I'm like, come on, and then I did see where some people were talking about. They didn't like that the manager was throwing out like Mateo in center field because they were like, why is it not just Cedric? Like, and then he just would change the lineup a lot. And he wasn't doing very good with his bullpen. Like they still have Soto.
Yeah, they have the Phillies, 2.0 team.
Yeah, but I mean, they do have
Sir Anthony,
the big
Soto,
guy, Batista back.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they're not winning games, then he's not saving them. Like,
exactly. Right. So we'll see. Maybe a new message coming in that can kind of turn that team around. They got some tough competition that
they got to go like a serious run.
Yankees, Red Sox, and
looking at it now, like so, Hyde's tenure with the Orioles, he was 461 win percentage, so 421, 492. He's 4th all time in the team's like rank of like managerial wins. So like he did do really well, like to turn that franchise around, but I think that also kind of was helped because of their bad years that he was the manager of. They were able to draft these kids and get those top picks. And then those kids just aren't hitting like they did.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are really having great.
Like
years.
Gunnar was started because he was injured, but even he's not even really going on a tear like he was. Like last year, he was every single day he was doing like Bobby Witt type stuff.
Right.
And I think Jackson he's done better this year, but like he didn't come out and start well last year, and then they sent him back down and brought him back up later in the year and did better. And he's doing okay again, but I think that he's still so young that it's tough to like say. Is this guy really a bust?
And they let Santander walk. Yeah, Santander, they let him go.
He went.
He's not doing. I don't think he's doing really great yet in Toronto, but like because he's on one of my favorite teams and he's never doing anything worth it. But yeah, like so. Like I said, they just did nothing. Mount Castro, I don't think he's really doing much like he was.
Santana's got 182.
There you go.
But like I was mentioning to the O's fan I was talking to, it's like, well, how much of the Santander loss was protection around the guys?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you take that spot out, and it's like, okay, that kind of doesn't benefit them anymore.
They can pluck another one in.
Yeah. So I think that. Not saying that it plays a role into it, but just thinking about it, maybe there was something there. If you have that guy ahead of you, and it's like, or behind you, and you see different pitches. So
they also got rid of our guy, Hawkins.
Yeah,
they cut in this morning or yesterday, whatever day he just pitched and gave up a ton of runs, and they just cut him.
It was this week. Yeah.
He's bounced around quite a bit since coming to the Phils. That was what 3 years ago.
3, because he was in St. Louis the last 2, I think. Right. I don't say those.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it pulled up.
Yes, while you're looking at that, upcoming matchups for the Phils, we got 4 with the Rockies, and then 3 with the Athletics. there is no reason why we shouldn't go 7-0.
Yeah,
at least we got to give at least one to the Rockies. We're going to somehow find a way to lose that game.
Yeah.
We'll go 6-1.
Yeah, but I mean, you have
Oh,
to.
you think we'll beat the Athletics no problem?
I think the A's. Yeah. Well, they did piss on us last year by the All-Star break.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was Rooker. Rooker was hitting all of the.
We were like,
it was his showcase. Yeah, it was his showcase. He was just hitting bombs, and then Mason Miller came in.
We don't get any of those A's. That's all the Braves guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're like,
we take the Nationals guys.
They see 215 on the phone's like, oh no, we need that Atlanta area code.
I mean, Philadelphia A's, like that's our old organization.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to keep them. Right. So I did get Kyle Gibson. So he was in Philly, Baltimore, St. Louis, then back to Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So he had a 16.78 ERA this year. So awful.
It's not very good.
So I think that's kind of playing into the Orioles season so far is that
Eflin's their only I think what's his name, the Rodriguez kid is hurt, and then they have another.
They just came back.
Then they got another starter that went down too. So they have. I couldn't even name their starter right now. That's how bad it's for them.
Yeah, Gibson went 2/3 of an inning yesterday. Gave up 6.
Damn.
47 pitches.
Yep.
Awful.
I see why they cut him.
Yeah.
So basketball had the draft lottery. So I was watching it, and our Phillies own Kevin Agandi pissed me off a little bit. He basically spoke too soon. He basically there's two teams
coming through his ear.
Something, yeah.
I don't think it was like his error. I think it was something that he was told.
Yeah. So,
but yeah.
Basically, two teams jumped up into the top 4, and he basically said that, now the 2 teams jumped in, the Sixers now lose their pick to OKC, and at that time, I turned it off.
Yeah.
I text you guys, and I'm like, Sixers got screwed. And yeah, pretty pissed off. So Brock sent me a message, basically like, hey, they're saying it's top 4.
What I'm seeing is you got top 4.
I turned it back on. I look at it, and it's like, then you see, okay, yeah, they're actually in the top 4. So I was like, what the hell? Like the guy literally said they lose their pick. So anyway, the Sixers walk away with a 3rd overall pick. Not what we were rooting for. We were looking for, the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. But, at this point, they're projected to get one of the 2 Rutgers kids, Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper. I think everybody's kind of pointing towards Ace Bailey. I don't know anything about Rutgers. The only problem I have with this is that team did not even make the tournament.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 guys that are top 5 talent in basketball,
last time you guys took a guy that didn't make the tournament,
it's happened twice. Yeah. So you got Ben Simmons, and you also have Markelle Fultz. So there's twice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there you go. See the trend.
But so with Bailey or Harper, I'm looking at it. I'm like, your team didn't even make, and it's 2 guys. Yeah. So it's like, how are these guys rated that high?
For that good. They're top.
If they can't even take their team into the tournament. I mean, you can't make yourself a 16 seed,
right?
So I'm highly.
To be fair, the bracket's a little weird, but like they would never be a 16. They would have to be fighting for like an 11 or 12, like the playing games.
Yeah,
but the 16's all reserved for like the lower divisions or lower conferences that have their champion, and then they get those 16s.
But still, it's like the fact that you have 2 guys that are top 5 talent and they can't even make the tournament, like. I don't know. Very, very skeptical of either of those 2 guys. So we'll see what ends up happening. I've heard people talking about trading back, and it's like, what?
Oh my God, there was people talking about trading
up, and
did you see that?
They're also talking about trading for Giannis, and I'm like, I don't want Giannis at all. Yep. Like, there's We'll see.
Harper had 19.4 points last year. Ace Bailey averaged 17.6. But I mean, they have 2 good guys, but they're also like in a decent division or a decent conference, and they went 15-17. So like that's not a great record as a team. But I mean, again, it's Rutgers, right? Like it's not like they're like a powerhouse in basketball.
I heard people saying too, it's like I wonder if they were handcuffed with NIL money, having to pay for those 2 guys. That we may not have budget to bring anybody else around, so it's just those 2. Yeah. But it's. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not high on.
If they cost that much, you think they'd go to a better school than Rutgers? Like
maybe they overpaid for both.
Maybe they might be Jersey kids.
Oh, so
that might make sense.
They were like staying around her.
Harper, I believe, was a Jersey kid.
So Yeah, Sixers get third overall pick. So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think they're going to go one of those two, or?
I would say probably for
Well,
what
Brock,
I'm
you don't
hearing.
give a fuck.
I was like, do you want me to answer? I'm like, oh, my team's still playing.
I just want someone that's going to be able to stay healthy and score points. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care who it is. We're trusting at this point Morey to make the decision, right? Like he's sticking around.
Well, the funny thing too, it's like
So-
he's had so much success that I don't think he's ever had a top 3 pick. So this is new to him also.
Yeah, he's like, oh, what do I do here?
Yeah.
Just based on their track record of failures with picks, I'm not going to hold my breath that they're going to get a guy that's going to turn it around. But
yeah, and I mean, like Ace Bailey can play forward. Harper's more of a guard, but like you've already got the kid Jared McCain they drafted last year that actually played pretty well.
You got Maxey, so it's like
you got Maxey. So
how many of them
really a need for a guard?
Exactly.
I mean, and also granted, we're 3.
We're 3, yeah. So, we're also waiting to see what San Antonio takes.
Yeah.
And I mean, who knows like what Dallas is actually going to. So I guess to add to this, Dallas ends up winning the lottery, and So I know
their GM should not be rewarded with the first overall pick after trading.
You see
Luka.
the tariff joke that was made because they usually get a European white guy and now they got an American white guy. So, because they were like tariffs got too high, so we stay in states.
So the Mavericks, they had a 1.8 chance of actually jumping up to the number 1 spot, and sure enough, they found their way there. I saw, I don't know who posted this, but it was a very telling, kind of graphic of the NBA draft lottery and how much evidence is that it's rigged. Literally rigged.
I mean, that was the talk of the whole draft. So
I mean, once they got it, I was like, dude, it's 100% rigged.
Everybody was like,
the way that they run these lotteries, they have a room and they just like have the lottery balls and just spit out numbers. And it's like, if your team gets those numbers, you win the lottery.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that? Like, show it live.
Right.
Like show the lottery balls.
Oh yeah, do it. Exactly
why are we doing this where you have everyone locked in a room that they can't leave for 3 hours until it's televised and see the
so they can basically fix it?
Yeah, so just show the lottery balls happen, and then you would know. Like,
well, LeBron literally tweeted out just laughing emojis as soon as they announced them. He was just like, "Told you," because he, like I said, he was talking. Yeah. Wow, come on now.
That's a big fan.
We know I don't. We're talking about this topic. That's why. Yeah. I did it. Yeah.
So the graphic that I saw back in 2010, LeBron signs with the Heat. So the Cavaliers were, they had a 2.8% chance of winning the lottery. They win the lottery. They draft Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
2011, a year later, Chris Paul was traded to the Clippers. So the Pelicans, 13.7% chance of jumping up. They jump up and they get Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So 2019, Anthony Davis is traded to the Lakers. Pelicans win the lottery, 6% chance of winning. They get Zion. And then most recently, Luka, obviously getting traded to the Lakers, and the Mavs with a 1.8% chance win the lottery. So it's,
the funny thing
there's too much coincidence there. It's like, okay.
But when you look at these markets, so a lot of those, Cleveland became a big market because of LeBron.
Right.
They kind of stayed a decent market because they got Kyrie. But New Orleans they were never really a huge market.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Washington, I think they've never had the first overall pick, and they've just been dog shit for the past 15 years.
Yeah.
But how is that franchise ever going to be good again if they can't?
If they can't ever
get those picks, a Cooper Flag would be exciting to see.
Mm-hmm.
In DC,
well, and the shitty thing that everybody's saying, it's like, Dallas was rewarded for trading Luka to a big market. It's like, it's getting ridiculous. Right.
Yeah. People said something about they traded Luka so that the ratings would go up, and then so they were rewarded they were like, thank you for doing that for the NBA. We'll go ahead and give you.
And they were rewarded with an early exit in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So speaking of playoffs, we left off the T-Wolves and Warriors. T-Wolves ended up winning that series 4-1. Curry got hurt. So
it's such a different series with Curry. I mean, Draymond was out there doing his damnedest. He's doing all his antics out there. But if Steph's in that game, Steph and Jimmy, that'd be exciting to watch.
100%.
Steph is. He's got to be
he's one of the greatest baseball or basketball players that
he's number 2 in the 2010s. LeBron. Steph,
I don't know. I mean,
is he better than KD?
He beat LeBron multiple times.
So you're saying he's won?
Could be
LeBron came down to 3-1, man.
Yeah, no, I know, but also Curry, beating the other times. But anyway, no.
He also had Kevin Durant.
Curry's better. Curry, I would put Curry above Durant, yes, because Durant went to him and they. I mean, now yes, he was very important to those ones they won, but
Curry, but he also won without Durant.
Curry Curry in general, even after Durant left, he won. Yeah, so I mean, it's Curry's definitely up there.
Well, he's 100% the best shooter I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, his records are never going to be touched. Well, actually, they probably won't because all the kids are just going to be.
All they do is shoot threes now, anyway. So yeah, he kind of changed basketball when he came in and just throwing up threes.
Yeah, the thing is the ones he makes though. Like I know the whole league does 3-pointers so much now, but it's the shots where he just looks like he's doing this, and then he just makes it and goes night night. See you later. I love that late night thing. It's good.
Yeah, obviously it's a big loss for him getting hurt. So the T-Wolves they move on. They're going to be facing the Thunder. Thunder just knocked out the Nuggets earlier today. They win that series 4-3.
That could be a good series.
I mean, dude, Anthony Edwards is a beast, man. Like he's very exciting to watch.
Even Julius Randle, like they become a nice duo all of a sudden. Yeah, it's like I did not expect that with Randle.
Like,
I mean, you lose Kat, he goes to New York.
Goes to New York, and Kat
bringing Julius Randle, and they're both playing well on their new teams.
Yep.
And then DiVincenzo's with the Timberwolves also. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get an all Nova.
Yeah, all Nova final.
And that AT&T commercial kind of makes.
Oh my God, that commercial is so funny. I'm like, dude, I feel bad for DiVincenzo.
I don't know if you've seen it, Brian. Yeah, it's Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and
Michael Bridges.
Michael Bridges, yeah.
And they throw DiVincenzo like a Villanova visor. Yeah, and it's like, bringing everyone together.
It's playing that song. It's been a long day since I see you again, or whatever. Yeah,
that's funny. Well, speaking of the Knicks knock out the Celtics. Big loss here. Tatum tore his Achilles, so he's probably gonna be out for most of next year too.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about the Celtics team's gonna look different because I think they get ready to talk about the CBA stuff's coming up like soon. So like the amount of money that it's gonna be a whole new they said they could have just ended the Celtics run.
But I don't know about that. I mean, they still got Jaylen Brown,
which is their best player. Jaylen Brown's their best player.
Derek White's still good. I mean, Porzingis, I think, was what hurt him this year. As opposed to last year, he was playing well.
But he didn't do much in the playoffs at all. Like he was playing. He wasn't fully healthy. He was playing 6 minutes at a time. Like he wasn't playing very much.
So that old ass Al Horford.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't stand him.
I think that's the only system he can play in is because how often he all he has to do is shoot a three-corner three.
He's like the Nick Foles with the Eagles. It's like this is the only team he can play for. Al Horford.
Don't ever compare him.
So the Knicks, knock out the Celtics, and they're playing the Pacers. Pacers take care of the Cavs pretty easily, 4-1.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of injuries in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's what happens with the Pacers. Pacers play someone, they get injured. I
can't wait for the Pacers.
This is Knicks.
I can't wait for the Pacers. Halliburton.
I'm telling you, I think Knicks in 6. I'm gonna say it now.
Knicks in 6.
You're not even gonna get Knicks in 5.
No, I'm going Knicks.
He's gonna give Halliburton a game, and then we're gonna have some injuries.
The kid's balling.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, he balls one game, then the next game he has 2 points. He's not he didn't even play a single minute in USA. And he's
because Embiid was playing.
Right?
Yeah. I still think Halliburton's fun to watch. He's crushing right now. So, you know what, Brock? I'm going to root for the Pacers.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's good. We can't be all Pacered up.
That's fine. You guys are Sixers fans. I get it.
Let's go Pacers. Actually, I'm probably going to go T-Wolves. Definitely riding T-Wolves.
I like Anthony Edwards, though. I do like him, but obviously the Knicks.
Yep. So NFL, Derek Carr decided.
Retired.
Yeah, shoulder injury. Do we ever get the details of what happened?
Did you see Did you remember the play he did it on?
He dove. Landed he outstretched the ball and landed on his arm and his shoulder.
And their season was already over. I'm not saying. I mean, I know he's showing that he has heart, but he literally dove like this and landed right on his shoulder, and now he's retired. Which I think they retired because he signed some deal. He was going to get $30 million this year, but there was a $10 million signing bonus in there, and he was I think he was can I still get the 10? And I'll go. Just give me the 10. They were like, all right, deal. We'll give you the 10. So,
10 to walk
away.
Plus,
he made over $200 million in his career. He's
So he was fun to watch though. He wasn't that quarterback that wasn't very good. He
was better than his brother.
100%.
Way better than his brother.
What do you think New Orleans is going to end up doing? I mean, they drafted that kid Shuck.
I mean, Rodgers is still out there.
They still got Taysom Hill on their roster. It's a weird. They got to do something.
They can go out to New York. They've got a couple quarterbacks. Cleveland's got 5 quarterbacks.
There's some mentions of Chris Olave getting traded. So because he just
that'll be interesting.
That'll be something.
That would hurt the rookie. Right. If they lose a lot.
Yep. So Brock Purdy.
Oh, Brock Purdy. Yep.
Yeah, Brock.
Brock
Big day for Brock.
Yeah, big day for Brock. Yeah.
5 years, 265. So I think it's a good signing for the Niners. I he's been a very good quarterback for them. I don't think last year.
Opportunity, Brock.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
last pick in the draft wasn't he Mr.
Irrelevant?
Yep. And then now, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in football.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they lost Debo, obviously. They still have Ayuk and McCaffrey will come back.
Well, that's the thing. They were like, what do you call it? Like talking so much shit on him, and I was just like, Ayuk's gone. Like Ayuk was holding out, and then he, last year, and then tore it. Like obviously Debo's gone, so like right now he has Ayuk, Kittle, and then McCaffrey, because he said he's got no restrictions, which I think is bullshit. Like,
we'll
you're going to play 2 games probably.
He's had a lot of injuries. For my fantasy team, I hope he's back healthy.
But they brought Salah back, so the defense could probably get back to what it was. Yeah. And then I think they have like one of the easiest schedules.
Yeah, they have the easiest schedule, and so they can benefit from that.
They can definitely be back up in there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of schedule release, So Niners had the easiest. Eagles, I think, had the 4th worst.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Schedule's brutal.
Yeah. The Giants have the highest opponent win percentage.
Yeah.
That we talked about last week was because of the division.
Yeah,
they're playing our division as well as the same team. Yeah. So, yep. But, schedule's brutal. We have no back-to-back home games. So, it's kind of odd. It's just,
That's crazy.
Whereas I think last year we had like 2 or 3 in a row, and like the whole last month and a half of the schedule, we didn't travel on plane.
Yeah,
because everything was like local to where it was just bus. So like being able to stay home, there's a benefit there.
And thankfully we have no international games.
That's also nice.
We're all in the States this year.
The other thing that kind of stuck out to me was I don't know why they do this. I can't stand this, but we have 2 times in the schedule. We have the Giants 2 weeks in a 3-week span, and then we also have the Commanders at the end of the year. And the fact that they have that at the end of the year, I think, is a disservice to NFL fans.
Oh yeah,
because it was we had a little rivalry building between the Commanders and the Eagles last year of championship game, but also playing each other twice in the playoffs. It's like, why not have that earlier in the year? They want to see it, because what you're going to do now is you're going to run into a situation where game 18 may not even be. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So it's like you're taking one of the
versus Jaden McDaniel. It's like, oh yeah,
or
great,
whatever backup they have. So it. Yeah, exactly. But I think they did a disservice to just NFL fans as a whole. And
they do that to us every year. It used to be Dallas and Giants, like it'd be back to back.
Well, it's usually always division games towards the end of the year, but like, don't put that one there, or put one of the other ones earlier in the year as opposed to week 16 or whatever it is. So like I said, I think that game could very well be very meaningless.
But potentially.
Well, let's go down the schedule. Week 1, we open up against Dallas. So it's a Thursday night game, 8:20. Good old Jerry Jones gets to see us drop the banner, which is awesome. I don't think any of us had Cowboys on our list of.
You thought Washington, right?
I was thinking Washington.
I thought Detroit.
I was thinking Detroit too. Like I was just, it makes the most sense because the players have already talked like they want to play us, and then Detroit's good. Like should just keep that momentum of putting
Yep.
And like you said with the banner thing, I'll say this because people on here like. It is funny, but like, my God, they were like, it's Dallas week now all summer. I'm like, calm down. Like, like it'll be Dallas week when it's the week 1. Like, it's not all summer. We're going to be like, we're going to beat you guys. You guys got to watch a banner.
Yeah.
You got 30-year-olds that never saw a Super Bowl. I'm like, yes, we know. We know. But my God, calm down. Like,
week 1, I think with all of the pregame stuff, the build up for the banner, I actually have us losing this game. I think with Dallas coming in, adding Pickens, having Lamb, having, Dak back healthy, I think there's going to be a little bit more incentive, and I have us dropping our opener.
I mean, I think that's like typical Eagles, right? Mm-hmm. They lose that like big hype matchup, but I think this team's a little bit. I have them winning this game. I do think that Dallas, having a new head coach, having Dak back, they're going to, with Pickens being a new weapon, like obviously they have all summer to get ready for this, right? Like they're thinking it as well, right? Like we're saying it's Dallas week, they're saying it's Philly week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they hate us just
It's
as
their
much as
Super Bowl for week 1, and ours is just like, oh yeah, we'll just go through week 1.
I think the Eagles will jump out on them. I think Dallas is going to maybe get off to a little bit of a slow start this year.
Okay.
Because of the new head coach.
Gotcha.
I have them winning also because I just think with it being week 1, like you said, I think we're just going to whoop them that week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
I don't expect it to be a blowout by any
means. No, I'm not going to be 40-6 like the Super Bowl, but I mean it could be. I definitely see a win because it's home. That's what I like. I feel like we're good there.
Yep. Week 2, we get one benefit of having a Thursday night game is getting a little bit more rest. So 10 days later, to get a bit of extra time to plan for Kansas City, rematch of the Super Bowl.
Yep. I'm surprised this is this early in the season.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like I didn't like the first 4 games at all.
Yeah.
Like and how I strategically place those in better weeks during the year. So week 2, 4:25 game. Also don't like the 4:25 game. Like why not? Exactly. So
what are we doing here?
It'll be Fox's game of the week with Joe Buck, or well, not Joe. What's his name?
Tom
Brady and Ken Rosewell.
Yeah. So Kansas City 10 days rest. I think that's actually going to benefit the Eagles of having 10 days to prepare. So I actually have them winning this game in Kansas City. So
I think their line has gotten worse. I think the Eagles defense is going to step up and get on the hem's ass like they did in the Super Bowl. So I have the Eagles starting out 2-0 here.
Oh, so I'm the only one that has them losing.
Yeah.
Adam's revenge game.
I have it because it being Dallas week 1 that we're gonna be like so focused on like it being a division matchup and like obviously doing the Super Bowl like banner and all that they'll beat down. Then you get to Kansas City and it's like Kansas City gonna sit there and just go like we don't celebrate stuff week 2 so I feel like because they've been there like I have them beating it.
I just think that Jalen he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm not saying it'll be right.
This offseason, it's like they don't care about last year. Like they're like, let's go get the next one.
No, I agree.
It's clear that you think you have 2-0 right now.
So. Like I said, I mean we're in May, so I think but right now I can just see it being 1-1, and I'd be like, if we come out 1-1, I'd be like, that's fine for the first 2 games.
Yep. Yeah. So after Kansas City, they have the Rams, another rematch. At home, it's a 1:00 game.
No snow.
So, and it's like does it make sense? It's like that one they could have like made it 4:00 or whatever, but
we also don't want everyone.
No, I love 1:00 games. Don't get me wrong, I love 1:00 games. But I'm just thinking of like when you have rematches like this, it's okay. They should be more of your prime time.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of like they can't just give the Eagles every prime time.
Yeah,
well, they do that for Kansas City and Dallas.
Well,
I think Dallas has the most this year.
And the Jets that one year when they get signed Rodgers, I think they had.
And then he gets hurt.
Week. Yeah. So the Rams coming in home. I actually have them winning this game. I don't see the Rams beating us, especially if there's no weather. I think the weather kind of
the snow. The Rams complete by snow, so at least you won't have.
I think that contributed to both. I mean, it benefited us, but I think it contributed to both teams struggling. I think if you have this game, in September, on normal weather, I think we're gonna beat them pretty badly, actually. So I do have them winning against the Rams.
I have them beating the Rams as well. So 3-0 start, jumping out.
Yep.
I think we play Stafford pretty well, I believe, historically. I think them losing Cup hurts them a lot more than they realize.
Yep.
And I think the Eagles are probably just gonna, 24-7, 24-10, like something pretty 2-score win.
Yeah.
So I have us winning that game. I mean, even though they did add Devontae Adams, so but I feel like our defense we're gonna be just fine on that. On that.
It's an old Devontae also.
And I mean, Stafford's good, but it's like you still wonder sometimes. Like he is old. He's getting old. Like it's kind of like, is he gonna be that good? Like
right.
So and then Jared Verse is still not getting any sleep over both games. So. It's like so he'll have a hard time that week, coming in there. So
we'll see.
But I have them 2-1 after 3.
Gotcha. Similar 2-1. Week 4 they go down to Tampa. 1:00 game again. This team just cannot beat that team. Bowles has Jalen's number, so I have this as an L.
Yeah,
just 100% L.
That's the first loss.
I have 2-2 again.
Yep.
I'm just waiting like looking forward to it being 130 and Baker Mayfield has 3 touchdowns,
400 yards. Yeah, something absurd.
It's
yeah.
gonna be nuts.
But like you said, until I see Jalen like beat Todd Bowles' defense, I have an L every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So I know last year when they did play them, they were, AJ didn't play, Devontae didn't play, Lane didn't play. So you had a lot of guys that were missing, but still, they dismantled.
But the defense was there, and Baker was just like, see you later.
So good against the
Eagles. He's on my dynasty team, so it's okay.
There you go.
That's okay. I got.
So you're gonna already put yourself down as a week 4 win in fantasy?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, go for it. So after the big Tampa Bay loss, they're going to week 5. Get the Broncos coming in. 1:00 game. Broncos, they have some young talent. I just don't think it's enough.
Played pretty well last year.
Yeah.
I
think we have a dub.
Yeah, I have a dub also. Yeah. I mean, like this, they got nice pieces though. I mean, Surtain is definitely a good corner, so obviously he'll be matched up with Brown. But
that's where Devontae and
Devontae's former teammate, right? Alabama guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. So Brock, you have that as a W.
I have a dub. Sorry. Yes, I have a dub also. Yeah.
Week 6, short week. Thursday night football. We are at the Giants. I think the Giants have done well in the draft. I think the Giants made some pretty good additions in the offseason, but I don't care. Dub.
Who's quarterback in this game?
That's literally what I was thinking about in my head. I don't know. I would say Winston would probably by week 6.
No, I think it's Wilson.
You think it's Wilson still week 6?
Yeah, I think it's Wilson. Winston's going to back up, and then Dart will just be,
I think it's going to be Dart.
You think so?
I think Dable likes him enough that it's going to be like.
So why do you go and bring the?
Yeah, that was my thing. I was
or maybe kind of what we talked about before. Maybe they're trading one of those guys to New Orleans. And...
I just think that at this point, Dable's going to have to be fighting for his career at this point, or fighting for his job at this point. So,
yeah.
So I think that he's going to be like, let me see what this kid's got.
You could see his face light up when he had Dart in there. Like he was.
Yeah, I saw some stuff
he was like, "This is my guy."
They were challenging him like during the interview process, and like he was doing well, going over like they were throwing questions at him, and he was answering right away, and the opposite of what Shador did. So I think they're high on him, and I don't see it week 6. I think this year they're going to ride with Wilson and Winston, whatever the combo is, and if they don't do well, then they just let's retool for next year. Just keep retooling until we can, put a legitimate team together. So I have on a short week, Eagles winning that game.
Yeah, I have Eagles. I have Eagles winning with the Giants.
Yep. Another little mini bye, I guess you would say. 10 days playing from Thursday. We go out to Minnesota. Another 1:00 game. I have.
1:00.
Yeah, like I said, I love 1:00 games.
So that's my favorite.
Yeah, wake up in the morning, make some breakfast. You got some football on. Watch the 1:00 games. Go outside, play some cornhole after, and it's a nice Sunday. But I have them winning. I like the 10 days that they built into that. I have no idea what JJ McCarthy is going to be.
That was my
so thing, I don't think we certainly lost some pieces on defense, but I think what we kept is going to be enough to still hold our own. And I don't see Minnesota.
I mean, Justin Jefferson's the only piece you got to worry about there.
Right. They have an agent.
Jordan Addison.
I mean, Addison's okay. He's not bad,
but I don't think McCarthy's the arm.
Yeah, I don't. We have no clue. We have no clue what they're going to get out of that kid. Now, I mean, O'Connell can definitely get anything out of some quarterbacks. So I mean, potentially, but
he's named the quarterback whisperer. So we'll see. But I have us down for a W there.
Yeah, same. I have us beating Minnesota. I mean, again, just the uncertainty of the quarterback. Granted, I know Darnold had a good year last year, but I think that that they're not as good as teams. So.
Yep. Rock.
Oh, dub. So I thought I said it. You might. I think I said it. Yeah, sorry.
So, week 8 rematch with the Giants again. This one's at home. I have a dub. I just, as you mentioned, we dominate the Giants.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything different. I think Saquon's just going to continue to run all over him.
Yep. I did pull up the Giants schedule. So let's look through this and let's rehab this conversation about who's going to be quarterback. Week 1, Commanders.
Loss.
Week 2, Cowboys.
Loss.
Week 3, Chiefs.
Loss.
Week 4, Chargers.
Maybe win, but probably loss.
So we're 1-3, 0-4.
Mm-hmm.
Week 5, Saints.
Saints win.
So 1-4 or 2-3.
Mm.
Week 6, Eagles.
I'm still, yeah.
See where you just said the Saints. So if Winston's not traded, obviously that for him, that's a matchup of a team he used to play for.
Yeah.
Like that could be where they make the change. I'd be like,
so then they play the Eagles, the Broncos, and the Eagles again.
Yeah.
So like we're looking at what 2-5 at this point.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Dable want to get
Jackson Dart in there? Yeah. Plus the crowd.
So
when's their bye week?
Their bye, it doesn't say, unfortunately. It looks to be.
So I'm thinking that would be the time.
Looks like a late one.
Yeah. I mean, if it's super late, then yeah. What is it? Well, maybe that does make sense. It's like, all right, well, our season's already lost. Now let's see what the kid can have. Or do you want to really throw the kid out to the wolves at that point, or do you just be like, all right, let's just get this season over with.
Yeah.
Make sure he's healthy, and get him going next year. We'll work towards him next year. So
that was late. They're week 14 by.
I saw you scrolling.
No.
I saw you scrolling. I was like, oh God, it's not good.
So again, I think that Dart will be in by the time the first Eagles matchup because their season's already good. They're 1-4.
Or if not the first one, the second game.
They're 1-4 at best going into the Eagles.
Going into the link as your first game.
Thursday night, and then they have Sunday 4:00 against the Broncos, and then play us again.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
So yeah, I think if he does come in, it would be the second game.
Because at that point, like you saw what Dable had, right? Like he coach of the year when the Giants went to the playoffs with Danny Dimes and Saquon.
Yeah, he was. Yep,
he won coach of the year. Then last year was absolute shit. Their whole organization dumpster fire. Like Saquon obviously comes to Eagles. Yep. 2,000 yards. Like thank you Giants again.
So that worked out pretty great.
But then like you see that like the fans are like freaking out. The GM is like always on a meme because of the whole Saquon thing.
Right.
So like at that point, he's so much pressure from the organization to succeed. He's got to have to fight for his guys. Like, look, I don't give a fuck about Russell Wilson. I don't give a shit about Jameis Winston. I need to show you that I can coach with this kid.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that.
Well, maybe that's what the GM's doing too. Is
Yeah.
Hey, we drafted this guy, put him out there.
Yeah, but it's so confusing because, like he said, if Dable goes, hey, I don't give a shit about the two veterans. There's got to be some kind of rift then between the two of them.
I mean, that made no sense anyway. Like, why do you go out and sign two veterans?
Why do you sign them to?
Like one, okay, I understand one, but they were like, hey, let's sign this guy, and then, oh wait, no, this guy's available too. Let's get him also. It doesn't make sense.
I think they signed Winston first. So
Winston first, and then
Winston was like, I'm here to be the starter, and then they were like, well, we'll go get Russell Wilson, and he's like, what the fuck are we doing? And then they, like I said, they were tied to Shador for a little bit because they thought he would get him, and then they moved up for Dart. So clearly, like we said, they loved.
I think
Dart.
they liked him. Yeah. Well, after our next Giants win, you guys all had the Giants win. Yeah. If week 9 bye, love week 9 bye. Right in the middle of the year, love it. So what that does is that gives us 15 days of rest before we go to Green Bay.
Yep.
Green Bay 8:00 game Monday night.
Monday Night Football. Yeah.
Monday Night Football. I have. I have. Did you do the right thing? Or did you do the baseball?
No, I did. No.
That's just ESPN.
That's ESPN. Yeah, I just did ESPN. Yeah.
I thought you did the web gym thing.
No.
Well, yeah, Sports Center.
Yeah, Sports Center. Yeah.
Yeah. So Green Bay, we're in Green Bay. I think the 15 days helps us. I got them as a W.
Do you have the record at this point?
At this point, I have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be 7-2.
7-2. Okay. I have a W. I have them at 8-1. So 7-1 going into the bye, coming out of the bye with Green Bay, beating Green Bay. I'm not sold on Green Bay, right?
I'm not either. That's kind of what I like. I like the 15 days.
But I just don't think that their team, who knows? Obviously, this is, May that we're predicting this. Like anything can happen.
It's also contingent of there's no injuries.
Yeah, so returning injuries.
Obviously, injuries. Yeah, we're going into our Madden settings. No injuries.
But also, I mean, who knows what weather it might be in Lambeau at that point? It's November.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have them 8-1 at this point, winning at Green Bay.
Yep.
Right. I have us losing to Green Bay.
Losing to Green Bay.
Yeah. So that would put us at 6-3 at that point.
Gotcha. Yep.
Reason I have them losing is because I look at the matchup after that. they kind of look ahead, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're facing Detroit.
Yep.
So they're going to be like, all the talk's going to be that that matchup, and then they got to, oh shit, we forgot we're playing. Not that the Eagles do that lately, but it's just something to think about. That's why I know coming out of the bye, it's just because I haven't won in 4 in a row before that, so it's like that's where I think they hit like they come out of the bye, and it's like back to reality now because you're playing. Like I said, you're looking ahead. You're like, oh, we got Green Bay, but we got Detroit coming up 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Detroit, Week 11, it's a home game, Sunday Night Football, 8:20. I have them lost. I have them losing this game.
Yeah, same.
I have them winning.
Winning.
Yes, I have them looking ahead and
looking ahead for the W. But so
all their marbles.
Me and Cam, we kind of flipped what you had us beating the Packers to losing this. I think the Lions team's good.
It's going to be interesting to see with them losing Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, to see what the team can do. I just think that trying to be realistic here, the Eagles aren't going to be
they're not going to beat everybody.
10-0, right?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the injuries thing, they're getting so many people back.
Right.
So that's where I kind of wonder.
The lineman.
Yeah,
Aiden Hutchinson.
That kid's a freak.
So you kind of wonder where they're going to, even though they lost the coach, but they're getting a lot of pieces back, and it's like that kind of makes them
mostly on the defense.
I think their defensive secondary was
it was
the entire. It's almost like their whole defense was injured.
Yeah.
So I have that as a loss. Week 11 obviously was the Lions. After that, we go to play Dallas. Week 12, 4:25 game in Dallas. I have that as a win. So I have us splitting with the Cowboys. So we're going to lose the opener at home, but we're going to get the win back in AT&T.
I'm the opposite. I think we're going to lose in Dallas. We win at home to open the season. We lose that game.
So you have
I think Dallas is rolling with that one with a new coach, so we're comfortable.
Yep.
I don't know.
So we turned injuries off. So it means Dak's
good to go.
Yeah. I think it's the 4 o'clock window for Dallas where they have the sun coming through. Though, right?
Yeah, that's typically what it is.
It's the 4 o'clock window, not the 1 o'clock, right? So this is a 4:25 game. So national or game of the week, America's game of the week by Fox, right?
Right.
So I think that the sun's going to be screwing around with everyone. So who knows? Maybe Jerry will try and flip it on the Eagles. Yeah, maybe they'll be smart enough to
put the curtains.
What side that they have.
Right.
So we'll see what happens there, but I think that will be a loss. Just we typically always split with Dallas. Like
that's
it
what
doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that we'll take an L there.
Yep.
I also have an L for the same thing because we split them. So I was like, we're going to win our home game. They're going to win their home game.
Yep.
That's how I basically got there.
So same mindset. Just I'm flipped with you guys a little bit. Week 13. Got the Bears at home. The Bears.
Black
Friday game. Maybe some of the pod will be there. We'll see.
I think so.
Yeah. 3 o'clock game.
Yeah, it's weird start time. But after you get all your shopping done in the morning, you can watch the football.
Black Friday show anymore.
It's all Amazon.
I went last year though. It was
Thursday night.
It was a shit show.
But I have the Eagles winning this game. I don't think the Bears are going to be competitive with the Eagles this point.
Yeah, it's a short week, but I have them winning also.
Did you hear all the stuff about Caleb Williams this week? Where they were talking, about he was watching film with nobody else in the room. He just went in there and watched it by himself. He was like, I don't care what you guys think. And then like someone else said they said that he tried to. His family was like going to try to change the draft so he wouldn't go to Chicago.
Yeah, try to pull a Manning.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to go there. I'm like, yeah. So
didn't he want to go to Minnesota? Not where he wanted to go.
Yeah, I think But I mean, they got Ben Johnson,
sense, right?
Yeah, everybody wants to go to Minnesota
between Kevin O'Connell and fucking Eberflus.
Yeah. But they do have Ben Johnson, so I mean, but I have us winning anyway. I'll get.
I'm still thinking Rodgers is holding out for Minnesota. Just wait for him to call.
I haven't even heard his name in a while except for tonight. Like they nothing coming up lately.
I mean, he's not making a decision.
No.
Yeah, so we all got a Black Friday W.
Yep.
Week 14, we got the Chargers in SoFi, so a little bit of travel there. Monday Night Football.
Yep. So Friday to Monday, so a little bit of break.
So 10 days there. So another little mini bye, I guess you would say, which is nice. I have them winning that game Monday night.
Same. I will say that Justin Herbert, I think, is one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch.
I love the watch. Yeah,
he's just so fucking good. But the Chargers just find a way to lose football games, in like historic fashion. Like last year in the playoffs, they get either 4 or 5 picks.
Yeah,
and
you
they just don't win big games.
Yeah.
But I mean, like regular season.
No,
he's an incredible quarterback, so it's a lot of fun to watch. But I just think that they lose those types of big games, and I think us going over there, Monday Night Football. I think that's kind of the big games where they're kind of fall apart.
Yep.
I have it in the dub.
Another dub.
Yeah, I have it in the win.
Good. All right, so we're all in agreement there. Week 15, we got the Raiders at home. I have this as a W as well.
Yep. I even want to make a second bet here that I think there's going to be the Saquon Ashton Gentry jersey swap.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. You're digging deep for that one.
I just don't know what the Raiders are
pretty
doing.
much just standard.
Why did they sign Geno to any kind of money
Carroll,
at
man.
all?
I mean,
why
think,
didn't they sign Tyler Lockett's a better question.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's it's just.
Is Lockett still out there?
No, he signed. Where did he go?
He's.
Well, while you're looking that up,
Titans. Yeah, he's on with the Titans. Yep. Yeah.
So, who do you think is a better season, Darnold or Geno?
Darnold.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Lockett is on the Titans.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them
stats wise or win-loss record wise.
Stats
will be Darnold and win-loss. I think he's
So the Raiders have a worse team and a harder division.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Like stat wise, obviously the division's tougher with the Raiders situation, but I think stat wise, I think there's a better opportunity in LA or Vegas. I'm sorry, than what Darnold has in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean they get Cup, they lose Lockett, they lose DK.
Yeah, no, it didn't really make sense what they did.
Vegas, they have Bowers.
They got JSN. Sorry, you talk about the Raiders with Bowers.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
JSN is here saying.
Yeah, for Seattle.
So, I think that Seattle is going to be better than Oakland at this point. Right?
Yeah.
So I think.
I mean, it's a little interesting. It's kind of like they just
swap.
Yeah.
It's what Brady's second year now or first year as one of those minority owners, and so
how is that illegal? Like how's that legal?
Yeah. They got
and
Fox,
then for him to broadcast
him and Fox have some kind of a really long.
That's a Fox game, so we'll broadcast that one.
There's a really strange contract details where
he's not even a good announcer
because technically you're not even allowed to be at another team's arena at all if you're in his position. But the way they work it is that he gets to the stadium and goes right to the booth.
Yeah.
So he doesn't make contact with anybody to Tampa or anything.
So after the Raiders, I think we all had W's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So here's where I think the toughest part of our schedule is. We have week 16. We're at the Commanders. I have us losing this game. I think at this time it's probably a 3-team race between Dallas, Commanders, and us for the division. I have us losing this game.
I have an L as well. This is a Saturday game, so
I think it's to be determined unless they.
It's a Saturday game, but the time is TBD, so it's either 4:30 or 8.
Okay,
but it is definitely on the Saturday. But I think hopefully we get out early on Oakland rest of the starters for the short week, even though it's only one day. Going into Washington, I think that Commanders, they surprised us all last year with Jaden Daniels. Guys, the stud. They made a lot of improvements this year in the offseason. So I think, again, injuries turned off.
Yep.
I think Washington takes this team.
Yep.
I have us losing as well. Like I said, because, week 16, like you said, we're all going to be playing for something, and we're in Washington. So I feel like that's the little bit of advantage for them.
Yep.
And they've already did what they did last year, and they added.
So they've added to it. Yeah.
So it's not going to be a cakewalk. It's not 55 points like it was.
So after that loss, we have Bills week 17 up in Buffalo. Very fun matchup. I think Buffalo Bills fans and Eagles fans are very similar.
Which we've just got recent success.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this is the end of December, so who knows what the weather's going to be like.
It's going to be snowing.
425 game. Yeah,
it's going to be snowing.
I mean, if it's a snow game, it's like, you always go back to, the LA game that Saquon had. You go back to LaShawn McCoy, against the Lions a couple of years back. And then LaShawn also, while he was playing with Buffalo, had a snow game. He's just, immune to it, basically. I have this as a loss also. I think we're going to lose to Buffalo.
I agree. I think this is one of those games where Josh Allen, he gets the hype. He was one MVP last year.
This could be an MVP game between him and Jalen. if Jalen's, I mean, if you look at your record and where I had him too, it's like he's probably in the talks of MVP at this point.
Yeah.
Saquon, if he continues what he did last year, he's probably in the talks too. But running backs are going to win that award.
Yeah, it's always
so I think it's going to be this is going to be a big game into the. No, but
he's got so much hate.
Yep.
He just, I mean,
no one likes him. But yeah, I think Buffalo at that point. I think Josh Allen's going to be rolling. The weather's going to be shit, and I think that's going to be one of those just ugly games in the snow. And I just got to give it to Buffalo at this point.
I have us winning because Josh Allen has not beat Jalen Hurts yet.
Oh,
so
yeah. I mean, last year or 2 seasons ago,
with the overtime game.
Yep. But Jalen basically just did everything.
Yeah.
So
but we'll see. I mean, again, we're in Buffalo, so it's a little bit different this year.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, the snow could definitely factor in. I don't think it'll be. We don't know. I mean, it's May and this is so yeah. We have no.
We're predicting snow.
We're predicting snow.
Hey,
we're predicting the weather.
We're already better than any other meteorologist. It's like you got a 50% chance. It either is or isn't.
WWC, give us a call. We got it. We got to figure it out.
Every Sunday it snows in Buffalo.
Yeah, exactly.
It cracks me up how the fans they go in there and just willingly they shovel snow.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
they
insane.
give them a beer and a hot dog.
I'll be sitting there going like,
they also go shovel out the players.
Right.
Like the players who know where they live.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we got to get them out. It's got to get to the game. Got to get to the airport.
Yeah. If I was going to the Eagles game, my seat was filled. I'd be like, they better get my snow out of there before I sit down. Like I hate freezing.
Next thing you know, you're cussing at everybody in your section. Yeah. Stuff. Week 18, like I said, I highly believe that this game's going to either be meaningless. Hopeful that it's actually worth something, but we have Washington at home, 18. I think we're going to split with them, so I have this as a win.
Same.
Yeah, I have it as a win. We'll see what it actually means at this point. It could be one of those meaningless games where you easily take a L.
Right.
I was just giving this one to the Eagles.
Yeah,
and we split Washington. So.
Yep. Yeah, I figure we split Washington, we split Dallas, and we take the 2 from the Giants. So my overall record, I have them at 12-5.
Okay, I have 11-6.
I'm 12-5 also.
I think the
going 8-1 and then down to 12-6.
Yeah, I mean it's a brutal schedule, right?
Detroit,
Dallas.
We say.
Those are tough teams.
I mean, I have most of my losses like early on. Towards the end there, they kind of get in that role. They get onto the playoffs, and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see like where the losses come, especially with the teams that you're competing with, and record and things like that, and playoff
this
position.
Is also all determined how injuries go, and
right, exactly. I mean, at this point, 12-5. Does that win the division?
Stat correction. I have 12-5 as well.
Okay, I thought yours was very similar.
I was like,
what's yours, bro?
12-5. 12-5.
Because we're all consistent there.
Yeah,
we just have
to bet the over.
I think
win.
We just got different ways of getting to 12-5.
Yeah. So, I don't know if 12-5 wins the division. I mean, in May last year we won it with 14-3. This year 12-5, I think with a tougher schedule. The Commanders have a tougher schedule. Dallas has a tougher schedule. Maybe 12-5 does win the division, but what does that look like in wild card?
But we still haven't had a back-to-back division winner,
right?
So it could be like we'll get the wild card spot. Like we'll be like Minnesota last year. We have a good record, but we don't even.
But you still don't have a And I mean, this may play into it as well. It's we play Washington 2 of the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We may play them the first week of the playoffs. Right. So you're playing a team 3 weeks out of 4. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, come on, NFL.
Yeah. I think Washington also got a decent amount of primetime games.
Yeah.
Or standalone games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, at least we're all in agreement of 12-5. We'll see how it works out. Stay tuned, everybody. I think what we're going to do as we get closer to the season is go down each division, do the same thing with each schedule. It may not be as elaborative, but we'll know more about, maybe Rodgers signed somewhere. Maybe they're... we'll be through some
injuries,
training camp and all that. So we'll go down, each team's schedule and kind of win-loss, and we'll figure out what our standings are, and eventually probably do a playoff prediction and all the same meaningless things that we did for the baseball. But we'll throw our predictions out there. All right, Cam, what you got in the mailbag?
Yeah. So our, number one listener, Kevin.
Thanks, Kev.
Number one
buddy.
contributor
Love you, buddy.
to the podcast. So he wrote in, how's it going, gents? Your elite fan here. In honor of Alvarado getting popped, let's be honest with ourselves. We knew he wasn't that good. Who has been your favorite PED user in the steroid era? He also forgot to
Sammy
include.
Sosa.
He forgot to include that the Cubs are elite in that first message that he made sure to respond.
That cracked me up.
So just to kind of like, obviously we talked about earlier, Jose Alvarado got popped for testosterone levels. We heard that it was a weight loss drug. Clearly it ain't working for him. He's still fat as fuck. But let's go through his stats with the Phillies. So he's been with the Phillies for 4 complete seasons. This is his 5th year. 17-11 record with 37 saves over the 4+ seasons. We'll just say that.
Right.
251 appearances, 3.37 ERA over 229 innings, 229.2 innings, 301 Ks. So that's really good with the strikeouts.
Per inning, yeah.
The thing that I didn't realize is that he actually has a club option next year.
Really?
So he's not under contract. Well, the club can determine.
The club
right?
can, right.
It's a $9 million club option for him next year. The Phillies at this point have to say, all right, we're done.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Or we're not going to pay him $9 million if we don't know.
Well, yeah, you decline the option. And
if
then,
they continue to run it back with the same fucking people every year.
I think he's still a good piece, though.
I do too.
Not $9 million with him.
But it also depends
the year before.
If they do something this all season, this season getting a closer, maybe you don't even need him because depending on who they get, maybe that's your new guy.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I think that's a very bad look going into a club option of next year at $9 million.
Mm-hmm.
So where
they get popped.
You get popped the year before. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, like we kind of discussed, he can probably come back towards the end of the year to help us in the late of the regular season, but he's out for the playoffs, and if we make the playoffs, that's a big piece we're missing.
Yep,
and that's 100%. That's a bad look for the organization. So we'll see what they do. So also just all our Philly fans out there. So I also ran through the Phillies that have gotten busted since 2005 for PEDs. Alec Asher, if you guys are familiar with him. Remember him? He had like a flash in the pan with the team. He was never really anyone. Daniel Stump, same thing. No one great. Antonio Bastardo, he hung around for a while, bullpen arm.
Yeah.
Obviously, love the last name.
Mm-hmm.
Our boy Chooch, he got busted for Adderall. So that was a banned substance. I think it's not a banned substance anymore.
Because didn't they approve it for Chris Davis? Because that was his thing.
He got popped for it too.
He got popped for it too, but then I think they approved it so he could use it because he had a real issue with it.
You needed a doctor's prescription or something to use it.
So Chooch got popped for it. Freddie Galvis and JC Romero. Romero the most notable in our run when we were
World Series,
10. So JC Romero got popped there. Freddie Galvis, Philly for 5+ years at this point, was kind of like the guy, the heir apparent after J-Roll.
Right.
He never really was that great, let's be honest.
He was really good when he played against us after he left.
So I guess just to kind of say, my favorite Philly that got busted was Chooch, obviously.
Yeah.
And
I like JC. JC was good.
JC was
in the bullpen. Yeah, he was great. I loved watching him pitch.
But I mean, Chooch.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to throw another guy out there, not just Chooch. I think we all love Chooch.
Yeah, and then Chooch in 2012 is actually where he had his best year as a Philly. He was an all-star.
Is that when he got popped?
He got popped in the offseason. So it was November of 2013 going into 2013 is where he started the year with a suspension. His was only 25, so I think that I don't know if it was.
I think they amped it up since then.
Yeah,
because I think now the first offense is 80.
Yeah. He was an all-star in 2012. He batted .325 to finish the year. He was up to .364 at the all-star break.
Yeah.
He didn't get the starting nod. I think it was Buster Posey who started in the all-star game, but I think Chooch's numbers were better.
Mm-hmm.
So Chooch, favorite Philly to use PEDs. I think it's pretty unanimous against us, right? Chooch was the guy.
Yeah, my favorite of all time was probably the McGuire. I was jokingly saying Sosa, but they let them guys do whatever, and those years where they were just crushing home runs
the home run race was.
I think that's what kind of brought baseball back exactly.
Yeah.
So with Bonds obviously still has the asterisk there, and those guys, but baseball basically just turn their eye and they're like, you guys do what you're going to do.
Everybody's argument is even though they're juiced up, you still have to put the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but they're cheating. Because Barry Bonds Barry Bonds, he used to steal bases like all the time. And then the next thing you know, his head comes in and it's fucking 3 sizes bigger. And it's like, yeah, you're not juicing at all.
It is just a shame though, because like his trajectory before when he was on Pittsburgh was probably on line with the Hall of Fame.
Right, he didn't have to juice at all. Yeah.
Then he went to San Francisco and just absolutely balled out. Like, crazy numbers. The home run regular season record.
Well, the on base percentage was absurd.
600 or something like that.
I think it's actually higher than that.
He had more,
especially with his walks.
Yeah, right. It was so many insane stats that he had with the Giants. But again, he's never been proven to, outside of just the obvious look at him.
Yeah.
Before and after shots, like, all right, did this dude do steroids or not? Yes or no? Everyone's going to say yes. But so just some notable PED users that I found. So this doesn't necessarily include steroids, but it's like Rafi Palmeiro, Chris Davis, Miguel Tejada, Manny Ramirez got busted twice. He got busted in 2009 for 50 games, and then in 2011 for 100 games. The Philly crusher, Ryan Braun, the old asshole Robinson Cano, A-Rod.
The funny thing too, it's like
Braun, he got in trouble like right after his MVP year. Right. So like he had the MVP year and then boom, cheater. I'm like,
I think a lot of these guys, I'd be very interested in seeing like the years that they got busted for this, but also like where they got the big contract extensions. I know A-Rod was one of those, and he came out and said, it's like, I felt like I had to perform to these numbers, so I wanted to take something to get a little bit more, oomph into it, I guess you would say. But I'd be very curious to see like, okay, Braun, for instance, like Braun was always good. He gets paid and he gets busted.
Didn't Aaron Rodgers? Because that's when so Braun was in Milwaukee, Rodgers was in Wisconsin. They were both kind of at the start of their careers at the same time. I thought Rodgers said like, I would bet my yearly contract on the fact that Ryan Braun did not do PEDs.
Like they were kind of like,
so I think it was like something crazy. I just remember some story about that with Rodgers like sticking up for Ryan Braun, and then Ryan Braun getting found out that he's doing PEDs. So just thought that's funny.
Well, the other thing we were mentioning it earlier, it's like there's a lot of things in here that may come up on the banned substance that you don't even know about.
Yeah,
like Profar. It's like you take something that's like I didn't even realize, but it's like do your own research or have somebody on your team do.
You should have a medical staff that goes like, "Hey, bud, can't use this. It's one of the flag substances." Like,
but if they don't know, like they can do their job and they know what's on the list. But it's like, hey, I'm going to take this over the counter, whatever. And next thing you know, it's got something in it.
That Major League Baseball would probably send you an email and be like, "Hey, here's all the stuff that's banned." So
you would think,
right? You know what I mean? Like, but that's up to you to read
it. They do that. Like,
I'm sure that's what I'm saying.
Provides the list. Every player is aware of what's on the list.
Yeah,
it's just doing their due diligence to understand
what if it's actually in the. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like that's the part that just seems to athletes just don't get.
Because that's what we mentioned. Profar got busted for earlier this year. It was something that he just didn't realize. And I think a lot of guys. I don't think they had the intentions. I think it literally is just they didn't know.
They have no clue.
So going through the list, another one that is coming up next is Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
He had, was it ringworm or something in his dreads? And he was like, I had to take this medication to like get rid of this ringworm that's growing on my head.
Yeah.
And pop for PEDs.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, it's just do your fucking due diligence. Like you're getting paid tons of money. All you're doing is ruining your legacy. You're going to become a joke. Everyone's going to talk shit about you. Just
that's kind of what the Tatis was.
He was on the cover of the baseball game.
Yeah,
he had that motorcycle accident or something, right? He had that
in the Dominican or something.
And the Dominican or something like that. So like people were just like, does this dude even like give a shit? Like he's just
And I mean, his father was a major leaguer, so he's already
so
he wasn't necessarily needing.
But I will say, if he's not cheating now, he's doing fine.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing real well.
Did you see that home run he hit the other night where he stepped too early and still like that's an insane swing.
Mm-hmm. Just a couple more. That fat fuck Bartolo Colon that everyone loves. He's a cheater.
That's the only reason he hit the home run.
Cheater. Jurickson Profar, as you mentioned, and Nelson Cruz.
So,
out of this list of the guys that I just said, like the notable ones, I thought Manny Ramirez was hilarious to watch.
Oh, he was.
I remember doing the fucking shit in Boston.
When he just
he just walked off the field to go take a piss in the Green Monster. He apparently did something where he pushed a woman down the plane. It's nuts. Yeah. He's a wild guy. So
I think his kid's actually either on a farm system or he's in college now, about to be drafted.
Get ready to have one come up. Yeah,
go get him, Phil.
Yeah. Hopefully, he doesn't have the same mentality his dad does. But
that guy was
if he can play like his dad, 100%.
He was a ball.
So, no, good question, though, Kev.
Yeah.
So,
always contributing for sure.
You got anything else in the mailbag?
Yeah. The next one that we have is from Matt and Magnolia. So again, Phillies fan coming up with the Alvarado news this morning. So with the 80-game bans at Alvarado and the failure of Romano thus far in the season, will this push the Phillies to make a move for a big name closer / reliever? He thinks that they should have made the move last year to go get Mason Miller or Rooker from the A's.
Right.
We keep talking about that, last year, the All-Star break. We know we needed some bullpen help. We needed some outfield help.
We had Estevez.
We just didn't go get Mason Miller and Brent Rooker. We did get Estevez. We got Austin Hayes. Clearly, that didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
Who knows Super Saiyan what would have worked with Mason Miller or not, but so I do think that at this point, the Phillies are aware that the bullpen needs work. They need to be able to change up some of the guys. Like Kirkarine isn't doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Romano hasn't been. He's been pitching well recently, but he hasn't been, lights out like he was 2 or 3 years ago with Toronto.
Banks has been okay. But
Banks has been okay, but he's given up home runs.
Didn't he give up a home run?
He gave up a two-run shot. Yeah. But he's still doing better than I thought that he would.
That guy Hernandez, fucking get rid of him.
Yeah, that should never.
I don't know why he's still on the team. I think they just called him back up because
I don't even know why he was signed like right before the season started. I was like, what is this move? This makes no sense.
And change your fucking number from 35. You're ruining Cole Hamels' life.
Yeah, exactly.
So get rid of that guy. Joe Ross, trash. Taiwan, trash. So yes, the bullpen has to do some. They have to make some moves with bullpen.
And if they don't make a move at all because they think these young kids are so good, it's like then you don't care about the window you have right now.
When is closing? Schwarber.
The future sounds nice.
Well, and Zabrowski hasn't done like a big move at the trade deadline in years, not recent years.
Hayes was not the right move.
No, it's like he's trying to fill with.
He was so worried about let's get a guy who hits good against right-handed. I'm like, how about you just get a good player?
Yeah,
that'd be crazy, right? Yeah.
So we'll see. With this window closing, do they go out and get a Mason Miller or someone?
They even suggested Bautista from Baltimore.
That's not a bad one.
Yeah, but he's a righty. He's not a lefty. So, but we do have, Strom's a lefty.
Yeah.
Depending on what they want to do with Ranger, if they're ever going to move him out of the pen, it's not great to him, as a player, but if it's going to help the team win,
we just got to pick one. Like I've said this before. It's just every time we go to ninth inning now, we just don't know who he's going to throw out there.
He's a matchup guy.
And it's like, I know, but it's like, just put a closer, get a closer that it doesn't matter who he faces.
But honestly, if you think about it this way though, like, we don't know what the pitcher is going to go out and do.
Yeah,
they can either be locked down or they can go out and get shelled. So, like, it's not like we have a solidified option.
I feel like Miller or the Hazley from, we feel like if I put them in the ninth inning, I'm pretty confident.
Well, the problem with Helsley is the Cardinals won 9 before they played us. They're competing for them. So it's going to be hard to get.
He's a free agent, so that's why it would be a rental.
But if they're competing, then
I know. I know. Yeah, I don't know to do it. Yeah.
So it might just be Mason Miller. Has anybody looked to see what Mason Miller's doing this year? Like, what are his?
I think he's been pretty good.
He's been pretty good.
He wasn't as good as he was last year.
It's also the same situation that the Athletics are not up though for him to even come in.
Right, but he's still going to get. He's probably not getting saves, but he's probably getting holds and.
Yeah, he's got a 4 or 5 ERA. But
so maybe the price comes down on him a little bit. Last year, they wanted probably 2 top prospects for him.
It could be that ballpark too. Now they're playing in that Sacramento. Whatever that ballpark is. So and also so Chris Rose, who works for NFL Network and MLB, he talked today when Alvarado got popped. He said Mason Miller because he said with them being in Sacramento now and they're not really trying to sell seats because they're not in Vegas yet.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, it makes sense to unload Miller and get pieces for that future when you get to that place. He even mentioned Emmanuel Clase. I don't know how that would work, but he did mention that he's under control though for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you offer, and then you go get him. I was like, I don't see the Guardians doing that because but he had a rough stretch in the beginning.
He has not been great.
He has not been good this year. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. You spend a lot for a guy, and then it's very similar to I just have a feeling it would be like Estevez, where it's underwhelming, and Yeah.
I
It's one of those things where it's like, all right, you give up 2, 3 top prospects, and you have to sign the guy. I would rather, like I said earlier, like throw Abel in there. Take some of these other young kids that are pitching down in the minors, throw them in there, especially when it comes to like July, August, because this works twofold. One, a lot of the guys don't have a report or anything with him, so
yeah.
he's coming up kind of what maybe benefited Abel today. They don't know what they're going to see. So this is the first time anybody's seen him.
Benefited Kirk.
So yeah, exactly. So you bring them up towards August or whatever when you can expand the roster. Okay, now we're throwing Painter if you haven't already brought him up, or you're throwing another one of these arms. You're throwing them in at that time, and teams don't have that idea of what stuff they have, how to even like game plan against them.
The way they talk about Painter, it would sound like he's probably close to coming in because
I was surprised Abel came in before him.
That's right. That's what I was thinking
they want to use Painter as a reliever. I think they're going to keep him as a starter.
No, yeah, I just mean
but there's a lot of times though
because they've been kind of ramping him up in AAA.
I think he's been around longer.
He's there a year before him.
So, but I mean, a lot of times what teams do is they'll bring these guys, they'll put them in the bullpen for the first year when they bring them up, and then they go to that starting position, next year. But it's like if you can come in, you could pitch 2-3 innings in a playoffs, like that's huge, especially when you have
that starter. Or like the
it's
relievers that start
like Suarez, Ranger last year. It's like he pitched 4 or 5 innings, and we needed somebody to kind of bridge that gap. And I don't think they did terrible until Lindor hit what was off Alvarado, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. So remember that series. Yeah, exactly. But it's like if you can get guys in here that can throw 2-3 innings, So
I mean, look, another guy that's not performed very well this year that signed a 1-year deal in free agency was Devin Williams.
Yeah,
he's been absolute ass with New York. Yeah, please send us him.
What's the other guy? Is it Weaver? Right? Is it Luke Weaver?
Yeah,
that shit's been closing for them now. Yeah, they've been putting Williams like in the 7th, 8th, trying to get him to like figure out.
The thing with Williams is he's a free agent next year, so he would be a rental for the half year.
He's not helping his case out at all either. Of getting.
And hey, the Yankees only had to send Nestor Court, so we should be able to send like Taiwan Walker. That should be all it takes, and that's what it takes for a fucking closure that caliber.
Bum for a bum.
Yeah,
better upside.
So like I said, I think it'll be interesting to see what Nebraska does.
They're definitely making moves.
Oh, they have to. I think Alvarado.
They have to.
Within probably, I think 2 to 3 weeks, they'll have another guy called up, or they'll have some other guys up. But I think that Nebraska, we got to kind of trust them. You did kind of bring with a lot of help with the paychecks, right? But I think they have made a decent amount of moves that are smart,
right?
So they can go out and get some guys like Tanner Banks, like they said, he's been decent this year. He wasn't a guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the White Sox. Like he
was the wrong Tanner when we got him last year. I was like, I wanted Scott, but I'm like,
I think Tanner Scott also might be available.
I think you got to look at those teams that are just out of the, out of contention. And the problem is some of the guys that we just talked about, their teams are still playing, so they're not going to want to, trade their pieces for future prospects. So, we'll definitely say thanks for
about Estevez. He got a save today, and his ERA is 2.18.
2.18? Oh wow! Must like the weather in Kansas City or something.
How many saves has he played?
I don't.
What's his whip? Probably 5.
His whip, according to the Yahoo, is 1.21.
Oh yeah,
still not good.
It's not terrible though.
That makes better than everyone else.
Yeah. Just saying.
He's in Kansas City. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Their team stinks.
But he could be the Phillies, and he's a Dragon Ball Z guy, my guy. Because Hoffman has got 14 ERA the last 2 weeks or something like that. He'd make it smacked around.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Love to hear that.
Yeah.
So make the case better for Nebraska.
No, but thanks, Matt, for sending the question, and we'll definitely see. I'm hoping that they do make some moves, but I also don't want to overspend for guys that are like a Devin Williams or Estevez last year that are just trash.
Yes, but I mean, again, kind of like we said, the window's closing. Right?
Yeah,
we're going to go win. We need to go win now, and we need to make these moves to go get these guys and help the big league club, and not necessarily everybody else.
I'd rather swing and miss than just sit there and take a pitch right down the middle. That's a good analogy.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, wise pass from
Yeah.
That's what I like.
So, anything else on the mailbag?
No, that's all we had this week.
So
again, thank you, Kevin and Matt. I'm going to start reaching out to all my friends. Say, hey, send us something.
Yeah,
I'm going to start doing that with Facebook. People just need to come on, comment on this shit. Get in here.
I think people just don't like us. Like,
I mean, I've pissed a lot of people off lately, so maybe
Yeah,
that does
a
what it
whole, a
is.
whole section.
They know that they know it's me. I'm like, oh, that I
We
ain't
need an
talking.
internal conversation.
Yeah.
All right, Brock, we have a.
Like, hey, we'll have an intervention in the next
Uh-huh.
episode. I'm like, oh fuck, what I do now? I'm like, oh, I pissed them off, my bad. Yeah.
Pre-pod meeting.
So
Good thing we aren't getting paid.
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
No, I'm sitting sponsors anything. Yeah, so we're good. Yeah.
Got any bets, Cam, that you did over the last week?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I just always like to do is I like to bet the over in basketball, and it
Mhm.
just keeps losing. So the other day I said, "Fuck it, I'm going the under," and it hit.
Nice.
And
Let's
then
go.
the next game I bet the under. It lost. So
So
nothing great.
I try to bet against or bet for our Mets so they could lose. So yesterday against the Yankees, I bet it was the Mets to win. I think I needed Soto and Lindor both to have a hit, and then whatever pitcher they had to have 4 Ks, and everything hit except for Lindor. Lindor didn't give me a hit, so fuck you, Mets.
Just also, if you're going to talk about your bet that you put in today,
Yeah.
I have an update for you.
All right.
So talk about the bets that you had for the golf.
All right. Threw a couple bets in on some golf. I have John Rahm, as well as DeChambeau, both to win / place. So
Okay. So Scotty won.
yep.
So, you know, that dude, side note, so fucking good at golf.
Yeah.
Like to come onto the scene, and then I think it's his third major. So just absolutely insane to watch him play. And once he's got it control, like going into Sunday, I think he's always.
Mm-hmm.
Rahm faded. I think where does it say he
Oh God, this is bad.
Did he fall down?
I'm trying to find. I can't even see where the final was. What the fuck? So he finished in 8th. So he was up to 2nd when we were watching earlier.
Yeah,
And then he bogey, double bogey, 16, 17, 18. So
I think I screwed up. I didn't do the DeChambeau bet to place, so he got second. I only had him to win.
Okay.
Shit, so I lost that one.
He was tied for second.
Yeah, he's tied for second.
Yeah, here we go. Now I have the full standings in front of me.
That's
so yeah, Scheffler won by 5 strokes. So again, that dude on a different level in golf. How Rory end up doing?
He wasn't. Yeah,
I never saw
he didn't play well
at
all.
Yeah.
Did he not make the cut? He finished in 47th.
Yeah, so not a good golf betting day. Looked good when we turned it on earlier. Rahm was in second. I was like, oh, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, even like 2 hours ago or like an hour ago, he was in second.
So. Yeah, we turned it off, and because he had an opportunity to eagle one of the holes. I can't remember what hole he was on. He putted it past, and then I think he missed the birdie putt, and that was all downhill from there. Should have kept it on.
Only because we're on golf. I still can't. I just scrolled forever and never saw Spieth's name one time.
He didn't make the cut.
He didn't make the cut. Okay,
he missed the cut.
That's insane drop off. I think Brooks Koepka didn't make it either, did he? Or
I haven't seen his name in a while either.
He apparently yelled at he had a heckler and he turned around and said, "You want to come down here and say it to me?"
Yeah,
some bitch. Well, the guy tried to play the card. It wasn't me. Like there was like 3 people that Brooks was looking at. It's like
Brock yelling at Boom, and the next thing you know, it's not me. It's this guy over here.
The guy behind me, man. Like
No, he didn't make the cut. Some other guys like Ricky Fowler, he didn't make the cut. Justin Thomas. So yeah, of course was tough except for Scheffler.
Scheffler, yeah.
Dominated
and
DeChambeau. I mean, -6 isn't like great on the weekend either.
Right?
No. I just like him.
Yeah. I mean, he's tournament level, but I'm more of a Cuppy guy.
So update, bet sucked.
Yeah, I thought I was going to give some good news there, but then.
No, I looked at it, and I guess I had DeChambeau just to win, not place also. So that sucks, but. All good. On to next week.
Yeah.
Fantasy. I think last week I ended up tying with our good buddy Ethan. So I think that was also why I left Sanchez on my bench, and there's seven. Yeah, it's just him for some reason. He always pitches those days that I'm busy at work, and it's like I just never check it. So I ended up losing on K's by 6. So that probably could turn that one around. It would have been a 6-4 dub, but you're welcome, Ethan. Nice little 5-5 split.
How about this week?
This week, currently, I'm playing
we have one
Tyler.
game going on. They'll be the end of the week.
Yeah, I'm losing 2-6. I don't know. I looked at it earlier. Yeah, probably. I looked at it earlier. I think it was like 4-6 or something like that. So he's tied 2 stats, but yeah, not looking good.
Last week I played Justin. Tied 4-4. Stats are pretty close on some of them. I won by 4 runs. He had 5 more home runs than I did. I had 2 more RBIs and 4 more stolen bases. My ERA as a team was 6.66, so that's not good.
Damn.
So yeah, we're off out of 50 innings pitched. So that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And then this week, do you want to do the honors, or you're going to do the honors?
Oh, I mean, I was going to talk about my last.
Yeah,
week.
go ahead.
Yeah, talk about your last week.
We'll
compare our teams.
So last week I beat Brandon. I won 7-2. So
I'll take that, Brandon.
I had a really good week. Yeah.
Clearly, his fantasy team's like his baseball team. Pirates suck. His team sucks.
But yeah, here we can get into week 7 now if we want.
Yeah. So Brock and I are playing each other this week.
Table mates are playing each other.
Table mates?
Team dumb table over here.
Yep. You should put a bet on like whoever loses us to shave their beard or something.
We're tied at 5 right now, and I think all that's left is let's see, we got like I think I have Mets, 2 Mets playing. Yeah. I got Alonso and Lindor still to go.
Nice. So right now, Brock's got me by 2 home runs and 11 RBIs, so those are a wash for me. I've got him by 6 runs and 4 stolen bases. He's got me by 30 points in average almost, so that's a wash. I've got 4 wins, almost, or 25 more strikeouts. He's got me by ERA, he's got me by whip, and I've got my net staple. So we're going to end up being 5-5.
5-5, yeah.
Who's your least productive player this week?
My least productive player this week?
Yeah.
I guess I got to figure out how. Probably Jonathan India.
Yeah, Jonathan India.
Yeah. I got to figure out second base.
All right. Yeah. You want to know who mine is? The guy you're screaming at the Phillies to get. Nolan Arenado went fucking 3 for 25 this week with a solid 120 average with 2 RBIs and 2 runs.
How did you find out his whole week?
If you just tap on the, I'll see. Yeah, that's the least productive. Pete Alonso's batting 200 this week. Francisco Lindor batting 143 this week.
Okay, great.
Brian Reynolds 150. Stephen Kwan 174.
Mine's bad.
And I mean, I have Mike Trout on the IL. Carlos Correa, him and Bruxton ran into each other the other day, so now he's out for 7 days.
I know Cruz was hurt, but
it's a 7-1 ERA for you this week, so that's not great either.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so where are we looking in standings? Has anyone looked?
I just had the standings up, so
we're at 3rd and 4th, and we're not going to have any movement because we're going to tie this week. So
you guys are cute. I'm way down in 7th. I'm terrible.
I mean, we're table mates. It makes sense that we're next to each other.
You guys are cheating on each other.
Yeah, because we have all the answers, right?
Yeah. This is my first year doing baseball, and I'm like, hey, I'm just alone.
You're gonna have to hit up Torpedo Ted for some advice.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Is Miso Horner going to make a move, our elite listener?
Ooh,
because he's behind us, and he's losing to Brandon, so he's not. So Brock and I will probably be still. I'm in 3rd, he's in 4th. Brian, you're in 7th.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna drop.
So you'll probably drop at least. Yeah, because you're 7th through 10 is only separated by 1 game.
Damn, I could go all the way to 11.
Yeah. Remember that lead you had at the beginning, sir?
Oh yeah, I was good after week 1.
You got to put Sanchez in, man.
Yeah.
Just leave him in.
I might just trade him. He's on the market. Anybody out there, just trade him.
Yeah, some people said some interesting trades, Tyler. Yeah. It's like, I'm not trading that.
Yeah, Tyler, why the hell did you drop out there? Not telling me.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Good trade for him. So, but yeah, no, so some fantasy updates. Next week, we'll continue on week 7. Like I said, hopefully, Phillies come out with either 7-0, 6-1, whatever we can do. But they need to put some wins together. Maybe they can just keep Mason Miller, just put him on the plane. We can fly back.
That'd be great.
But until next time, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, follow, and absolutely send us comments, questions, anything you guys want us to talk about. We'll do so. And don't forget the beer suggestions too. So thanks everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.